switch that's flicked in my brain. I can push myself to like really extreme limits, and I don't really know where the line is in the sand, if you know what I mean. So I can really push myself beyond where I should. Um, and the result of that is at the end of the day, pretty serious exhaustion, dehydration problems. So I've really got to manage that sort of side of things. I've always been really competitive. It doesn't matter if I'm racing a windsurfer or having a game of Monopoly with you, Pete. I want to win, right?
So
um,
coming on to the pushing yourself, Dolly,
yeah,
at the recent Windsurfer Nationals in Lake Macquarie in New South Wales. Um, I think really, the effort that you put in there, I just think that was just an absolutely heroic performance. And the people around you, Dolly, um, the actual love and affection, and respect that people had for you when you came in from that slalom event, the double elimination slalom event, was
yeah,
just amazing. So talk us through that, Dolly.
yeah. Coming in was pretty special, Pete. You know, I made a really stupid mistake in the opening rounds. Um, I think my first round I won by a country mile, and I was like, slalom's never been my strong point, or either I might add. And I think it was either the second or the third round. I was coming into the top mark the second time, so the final lap, and I can't remember who it was, but they probably remember. Someone's coming in on starboard on the lay line, and they were going to be just slightly in. Well, the two of us were neck and neck. He had me on starboard, and I was right on like a board length from the top mark. I could have taken his stern and finished second, and stupidly, red mist. I decided to try and lee bow him, and I tacked underneath him, and I didn't lay the mark. So I
Oh,
hit the
death in
mark,
slalom.
and it popped up on the starboard side of my board, and the ensuing boards are coming, and I had to jibe around, come in behind them and tack. Being the last lap, I missed out on the four and didn't get through. Stupid mistake. I couldn't believe that I'd made such a stupid mistake. I pride myself on my tactics normally, but the red mist came over, and I thought I could get in there and I didn't. So that put me into the elimination round, and it was continuous heats, heat after heat after heat. I think I sailed 6 heats back to back with like a minute and a half between each heat. Luckily, the start boat had some water on board, and I was just trying to down a bit of water between each race, um, and and I just kept chipping away, and making sure I got through each race, and in my head I had a quote from, so it was a famous boxer back, post-war, guy called Jack Dempsey. I think he
Mm.
was American.
Yeah.
Very famous boxer though, and he had a saying that a true champion is a true champion gets up even when he can't. I just kept rolling that over in my head every time I felt like, oh, I am done here. Like I was exhausted. I was completely cooked, and my legs were like failing under me. I was that cooked. And I just kept chipping away and chipping away. And each race I took on, this is another opportunity, another opportunity, another opportunity. And I just kept pushing and pushing, and made it through to the final. So the top four had already got through,
So you
and
came
then
through the loser. You came through the loser
all the
heats,
way
Dolly.
through the eliminations,
Yeah,
yeah, and all those races were back to back,
yeah. Wow.
and and then there was no break between those eliminations and the three heat final. So then I've rolled straight into the three heat final,
So you've
and
done
the
six heats in a row, was it, Dolly?
yeah, I think it was, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then straight into the three heat
Whoa,
final without a break, and
unbelievable.
the top four, which were Tim Lelliott, Luke Myers, Lockie Vise, and who was the fourth one? I can't remember who the fourth one. Forgive me, whoever that was. Um, they were fresh. They'd been standing on the beach all day, you know, sipping sipping lattes. Tim, Tim probably went and got a spray tan and had his hair. So they come out fresh as daisies, and so anyway, we rolled into that last three heat final, and yeah, somehow I just managed to just keep pushing, really concentrated on trying to win the start every time, and positioning myself so that they either had to tack and take my stern, or I could take them all the way out to the left to the ley line, and they had to follow me in, and that worked every time. And so three in a row, I nailed the start and managed to hold them out. But on the downwinds, I was so spent, and I just couldn't hold Tim and Luke out. I think Lockie got me in one of them, but it came down to that last race, and I knew I just had to beat Lockie in that race, and I'd get the bronze and cross the finish line. And my whole body just shut down. Um, it was, I talk about that switch in my brain. My brain realised I was done, and then that physical exhaustion just took over. And on the way back to the beach, I could barely stand up. And then the emotions came over me, and I was like, wow, I kind of realised it was only third, Pete. I didn't win,
Hmm.
but for me, it was a win. It was amazing. And then coming into the beach, and literally everyone just came down from the club and the shore, and Sham and Johnny Doolan grabbed my equipment, and Scotty was there, and Paul and Sarah and Kevin and everyone. It was pretty special. And you said to me, oh, when we'd been speaking previously, sort of what's my proudest moment. And I've done some pretty amazing things, particularly in sailing, won some pretty big events, um, and gone pretty good in the windsurfers over the years. But that a third in the slalom, that yeah, to have done that in the situation that I'm in and stuff, it was certainly pretty special, and it's something for the rest of my days I'll never forget. That's for sure.
Well, I think everybody who was at the event, Dolly, who witnessed your epic performance there, that's something they'll never forget. And I think that's we all see that in you, Dolly, that that real energy and the determination, the will to win, uh, in the nicest way. Some people have got
Yeah.
a will to win and they're not very nice, but
Yes.
you do it so beautifully.
Yeah.
And I think that's you talk about a role model for all of us. That grit and determination, Dolly. That's just fantastic.